The college football experience, West Virginia Mountaineers 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com with the promo code TCESGPN. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, it's Peyton Manning, and you're listening to SGPN. Let's ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. West Virginia Mountaineers 2025 season preview. And I think this is one of the most exciting teams to talk about in college football. YouTube.com/the college experience. Jump on over there. We're breaking down all 136 college football teams with a solo episode for every single team in the land. But this one might be the most interesting because, well, I mean,
Morgantown, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Morgantown, Morgantown WP.
it is home sweet home for one Rich Rodriguez, who is back at the scene of the crime where he played defensive back in the days, and obviously where he coached and almost took them to the national championship. Excited to talk all about this. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
I've been drinking too much. That's the WU fan base. After Rich Rod was announced, he was back, and maybe there was a few sour grapes, but he's home, baby. I am joined by my co-host. He is also the host of the College Basketball Experience, and I mean, he's WVU blue and gold through and through, whatever the fuck you want to say. All right, give it up for former staffer at Austin Peay with the Governors, South Carolina with the Gamecocks, and West Virginia with the Mountaineers, Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Moneyline Mac. How are you, brother?
Oh, yes. It's July 1st, getting closer and closer to week 0, and had a little extra pep in my step today because I looked on the calendar and, we're going to talk some gold and blue. Rich Rod back in Morgantown where he belongs. Cheers, beers. Let's go ears, baby.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight. I mean, we're finally home, right? I mean, this is one. I was kind of rooting against this move to happen as an ECU fan. I wanted ECU to get Rich Rodriguez. I thought, no, you guys, he burned that bridge, man. He burned that bridge. But no, the bridge has been built up again by Pat McAfee and company, and he is now back in Morgantown where he belongs. And let's just jump right into the slideshow here, where he is all time, by the way, 190 and 129, and the guy is just a fucking winner. I feel like what is the pulse of the average WV fan? Is it like 8 out of 10? Love Rich Rod back. What is that number if you had to guess?
Probably 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10. I think that you had a little bit of pushback just because I don't think everybody followed Rich Rod once he left after Michigan. Once he got canned at Michigan, I think a lot of people were, or the bitter people were happy. But I mean, he had a great run at Arizona, best year in program history, Pac-12 title. And then I don't think people realize how good he was at Jack State, taking them from the FCS to the FBS, winning the conference championship in year number 3 with one of the limited budgets in that league. So now that it's settled a little bit, I think people are fired up. I mean, the season ticket sales reflect that, and it's good to have one of our own home, man.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, I remember my first introduction was when he was at Tulane as the OC, and they went undefeated with Sean King and a few other guys, Todd Pinkston and stuff. Then he went to Clemson and had great success with Tommy Bowden. And then obviously the rest is history. From there, he was a head coach. But the guy's a fucking winner wherever he goes. If he would have stayed at Michigan longer, he would have won there. And I know Rich Rod would probably be the first to tell you that. Yeah. So the question now is, how long does this rebuild take? Because nowadays it's a transfer portal era. It's going to be fascinating to watch. That's why I have them as like one of my top 20 teams, like as far as like most interesting to watch. I love just following the storylines there. But yeah, I mean, you got to love Rich Rod. He's back home. I'm glad that this marriage could happen. You know what I mean? I'm glad they could get back together. All right. Now I will say this, and shout out to the chat, by the way. Come be a part of the chat, youtube.com/the college experience. The chat can't wait to see Rich Rod. Yeah. And AKA Badger on the intro, he says, that sounds less like Peyton Manning. That was Pat McAfee when he did our show. When we asked him to do an ad read, he read as Peyton Manning. So I thought it was appropriate. Now here's the question to ask. I think anyone listening and anyone that follows college football is, historically, coaches that are fortunate enough to go back to the scene of the crime, essentially. Like I was putting together this in my head and I was like, who the hell has been able to do this? And my first one that I thought of was John Robinson at USC. He was great in the 70s, left to go to the LA Rams or the Anaheim Rams, whatever the fuck you want to say. Then came back to USC. But when he did that, so he was 67-14-2 his first tenure. Multiple, I think 3 double-digit win seasons. And then when he came back, 37-21-1. He was still somewhat successful, but his final 2 years were 6-6. Like, so I would say they didn't actually catch what they had the first time. Then you have Mac Brown at North Carolina, who I think never missed a bowl at Carolina, and that program was on the ground when he took it over. So he did uplift that program. But he never got it to his first tenure when he's winning double-digit wins, I think 2 or 3 times. He never got it there. Then I thought, okay, who else could do this? Mike Riley. Mike Riley's an example. When he was at Oregon State, he left for the San Diego Chargers, came back to Oregon State after Dennis Erickson left, and actually was better than his first tenure. And Bill Snyder was another one who left for a few years, came back and still was kind of the same. Like he had multiple double-digit win seasons, some 9-win seasons, so he was kind of the same. And then I know Road Rash face Bobby Petrino also came back to Louisville and had success before things blew up. I don't know what you would define that, but what would you define? Like if we're having this conversation 5 years from now, like, I guess the question I want to know is like, does he have to get to the forefront of on the verge of a national championship like he did the first time for you to say we got our guy and he lived up to what we hired him, or what would the expectations be?
That's a great question. That's been the whole discussion with the end of the Neil Brown era last year. Was what are the expectations of the West Virginia job? And you go back and you look, and kind of Rich Rod said it. 6 straight years of 8+ win seasons. It was sprinkled in with an 11 win, and a 10 win before departing for Michigan. So I'm not saying he's got to come out and win 10, 11 wins. I mean, there are some people that are unrealistic that think that, but I think the West Virginia job, you should be 8-4. You should be solid. You should be what Kansas State is. You should be what Iowa State has become under Matt Campbell. There's no reason we can't do that at West Virginia. And every 2 to 3 years, maybe fourth year, you have a chance to win the Big 12. So like that's where I think in a down year where everything falls out, you lose a bunch of one-score games, maybe you go 7-5 or 6-6, but you should be a median 8-4 year in and year out, especially with how much they've stepped up with the NIL collective and how much they're paying Rich with McAfee and Allie on the defensive side of the ball and this roster. So yeah, I think 8-4 is the expectations on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though, is it's tricky because the Big 12, I think. So the old Big East, look, I liked it, but it didn't have the depth of the like Temple and Rutgers were doormats back in the day in the Big East. I mean, except for like the first couple of Shiano seasons, but like you had some dead weight. I feel like the Big 12 is actually much more complicated to run the table and get double-digit wins. But if anyone can do it, it's probably Rich Rod. So I love the hire. I love the fact he's back in Morgantown. And yeah, let's jump into this because he inherits an offense that was better than I thought it would be, actually, when I was running these numbers. Now, the OC, it is funny when you read stuff. They say the OC is Chad Scott. I read 2 different magazines that said Chad Scott, I think he's the former Maryland corner in the 90s, is the OC. But I from my work on the internet, I saw he was the running backs coach at Texas.
Yeah,
so,
he went to Texas spring.
So I imagine Rich Rod's running the offense. I couldn't find intel. I went to the team website. Normally he runs his own offense. I mean, might have a guy with the title of OC, but he's heavily involved. But he inherits an offense that was 53rd in scoring offense a season ago, 87th in pass offense, 27th in rush offense, 53rd in total offense. Now, I mean, Rich Rod's not known to be throwing the ball all over the field. Like this almost looks like a B version of a Rich Rod offense. Heavy run, not efficient passing. You know what I mean? Like it kind of is like a shitty version of a Rich Rod offense. 53rd, Mac. The question is can in year one, do you think he can? And I hang on to this answer. Don't answer it right now. Do you think the question is? I would ask the audience also is, can he top 53rd in the nation in year one of his tenure in Morgantown? He's got Nicco Marchiol back at the quarterback. And this guy, I like this guy. I mean, I'm not sure if he's going to start. That's the thing that was interesting when breaking down this team. They brought in Max Brown from Charlotte, who started at Charlotte with Biff Poggi, also played at Florida a little bit. And then they also brought in another kid from Texas A&M via Fresno State that I think fits. Like, I'm curious who gets the start. Now, most magazines and stuff that you see have Marchiol starting. I like the guy, and he might be mobile enough to fit in the Rich Rod offense. Where are you at with him?
I like Nicco. I think Nicco is the front runner, but you mentioned it. Henderson and Brown. I mean, Brown, there's been a lot of hype with Brown in camp, but Nicco flashed. I mean, he was 2-0 as a starter. And if you remember, Garrett Green went down in the Pitt game 2 years ago, primetime, and Nicco stepped in. And, I mean, that's not the easiest spot to come in for your first big game against Pitt in that backyard brawl. So I think Nicco will get the nod, but it is going to be a competition in camp.
Yeah, I'm kind of fascinated as the season goes along because you saw him. I'm drawing a blank on the guy he had last year from Furman that transferred in at Jack State, who ended up is it Tyler Huff? I think it was.
Yeah,
I think
because
it's Tyler Huff.
Well, but remember, Rich played those 3 quarterbacks the first three games last year, and it took a minute to get that offense going.
Yeah, no, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did the same here. Yeah. I honestly wouldn't, but. Yeah, Marchiol back at the QB spot. He does kind of fit his forte though. Running quarterback first, probably passing skill improving, but not super elite. At the running back spot. Oh no, first, wait a second here. I'm sorry. I forgot I put that slide there. Okay, now that you're back, you guys have Jeff Hostetler as one of your famous alums, Super Bowl champ Jeff Hostetler.
Damn right.
Can we do a Nicco Marchiol photo shoot like this? I mean, how fucking great is the '80s photo shoot? This was to hype up your season tickets and stuff. This is fucking fantastic, by the way. Can we if we're going all the way back? I see you guys are bringing back the helmets, by the way, the old school helmets.
Yeah,
love what you're doing, but we need to do a marketing campaign for Marchiol with this fucking with Davy Crockett here out on the goddamn river with the musket. This is gold, by the way, absolute gold. Please, who do I got to get in touch to?
Rush.
Hostetler's
Rush's guy. I got a signed hat over there with Hostetler and Don Nealon over there. So,
Let's go. I mean, what a great ad campaign for the season. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
At the running back spot, you get Jaheim White back, who I was crazy. This guy's rushed for almost 1,700 yards in his 2 years in college, 14 touchdowns as well. Am I crazy? I think he could be really good under Rich Rodriguez. My first thought was, I was like, man, he's just the type of back that I think could be very efficient. Now, I know they went through the portal and brought in some guys, but where are you at with Jaheim White here?
I think he's perfect for Rich Rod's system. I mean, he averages 5.5 yards a carry. The year before, 6.5, 7 yards a carry. Whenever he gets the ball, good things happen. And I mean, if you remember, Donaldson 2 years ago was like the highly touted back. Jaheim White beat him out the next year in his freshman year. So Jaheim White, I think, is going to have a monster year.
And CJ Donaldson, now Ohio State's starting running back. I actually think the shoe really fits here. I think if you're if you're looking for some college fantasy football plays, I think Jaheim White might be a value play there. So on the offensive side of the ball, besides Marchiol and Jaheim White, no one is back besides Rodney Gallagher, the wideout, he didn't even start the whole season. He got I think 7 starts. Okay, so you got a little work to do. It kind of reminds me of doing Colorado a couple years ago. No one on the offensive line is back. But okay, hang tight. Do you think the offense? Well, let me talk about what the portal brought in. So Jaylen Henderson, I was drawing a blank on his name. That's the kid that was originally at Fresno that went to A&M. Max Brown, obviously, both those guys come in as quarterbacks. We'll see who starts. Jalan Knighton was a pretty big recruit at one point. I'm very familiar with his game from SMU. He transfers in, so a White Knighton, backfield's pretty nice. LJ Turner, they went deep sea diving, Mac.
Mm-hmm.
LJ Turner from Catawba. Catawba, whatever the fuck. That's in North Carolina too, I think. Ty Edwards from UNI was at Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa comes in. Cannon Katzer from Ferris State, who I'm a big fan of. I've watched a lot of Ferris State over the past few years. They're a great program up in Michigan. Cam Vaughn from Jack State comes in at the wideout spot. Same with Gerard Bowie. 3 wideouts from Jacksonville State. Jordan McCants being the third. Logan Ramper from Slippery Rock. I mean, dude, I haven't even done the O-line yet and the tight ends. But going out to Catawba, Ferris State, Northern Iowa, Slippery Rock. Then you go and you add in Jeff Weimer from Idaho State with Cody Hawkins, friend of the program. Christian Hamilton, a wideout from North Carolina. Oren Singleton, a wideout from Eastern Michigan. I liked his game at EMU. Cyrus Trawl from Youngstown State. Justin Smith Brown from South Carolina State. Buddy Pugh, recruit probably. Ryan Ward from North Carolina at the tight end spot. Grayson Barnes, also another tight end from Northern Illinois. And then Jacob Barrick, another tight end from Jacksonville State. Woo! I haven't done offensive line. What's that?
I said, was that the top 25 poll or was that the portal class?
Oh my God. I mean, deep sea diving. Then let's talk about the O-line. And then I'll pose my question. The offensive line help. Holy shit. They go out there. They did attack a lot of SEC schools here. Malik Agbo from Texas. Michael Clay from North Alabama, not Alabama. Carson Lee from Mississippi State. He was actually the year previously. He was at Colorado with Coach Prime. Walter Young Bear, greatest name. He comes in from Tulsa. He was very good in the AAC a year ago. Tykees Crawford from Sam Pulled Pork Pittman in Arkansas. Josh Ayosa from Oklahoma. Robbie Martin from the Pussy Pack of NC State. Aiden Bustle from Tennessee. Donovan Haslam from Austin P. And Wyatt Minor from Youngstown State. Buddy, I'm impressed with how many deep pulls from North Alabama, Austin P. Question is can you do that? We saw Coach Prime do this, and he went 4-8.
Yep.
But Travis Hunter did miss a month. But also there is no Travis Hunter out of this bunch. Will the offense be better than it was a season ago?
I think so. Even though the offense was not we'll get to the defense here in a minute. The offense was not the problem last year. I mean, Garrett Green still had a pretty good year, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of moving pieces here. The offensive line, competition. They brought 5 guys in on the front end of the spring portal. Then they brought in another set of 5 guys. So I'm interested to see how that offensive line group shakes out. I trust Rich Rod to get the offensive line right. But I love Vaughn at Jack State last year. He's their leading receiver last year. And then the kid from Idaho State, Weimer, he was a 1,000-yard receiver. I know that's the FCS, but still, I mean, we've seen guys translate from the FCS to the FBS. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this unit shakes out. But I think the main thing Rich is preaching is competition. Nobody's got anything earned right now, which is good.
The big thing with Rich Rod is timing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like his offense is almost in similar vein to it's completely different than Paul Johnson's triple option. But what I mean is like whenever they get the timing down of the offense. Now, obviously you got to have the Jimmies and Joes to a certain extent, but I do think Rich Rod's better with less. He's one of these coaches that you give him less, he'll take it as far as he possibly can, and you better watch out for it. But the rhythm and the timing of the offense, I think, is everything there. And I know that they won't have it week 1. Now they'll still beat Robert Morris, but I'm just saying,
yeah,
that shit takes a while to get. And I'm curious to see. I'm going to watch each week. Are they close to getting it?
Hey, real quick on the offensive side of the ball, do you know who's on staff?
I think Pat White, right? Or Steve Slayton, or both, right? Yeah.
Not Slayton. Pat White and Rasheed Marshall. So he's got his 2 quarterbacks that got him going, and then he's also got Noel Devine's on staff. So
that's what Noel Devine. I saw it both staff. Yeah. Sorry, Steve Slayton.
And his son. And his son's a quarterbacks coach. So he's got a bunch of guys that he trusts around him.
There you go. His son played at ULM with him a couple years ago. There we go. That is good. That is good to have. I think the offense will probably put up similar numbers but I bet you this. I bet you in September, if you pulled up the box scores from November to September, I bet you in many instances November will be doubling up the offensive yardage on the ground specifically that they did in September. Want to talk about the defense, which you just alluded to a second ago. But before I do that, I want to let you know that you are listening to the College Football Experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and you can listen to every single podcast episode on the network feed. Yes, just type in SGPN, and you will get it's the home for all of our podcasts for the SGPN feed. So get it wherever you get your podcast, and remember, as always, to let it ride. We're also brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. Yes, think you know ball? Then you have to enter Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. There is no rake, so if entries go above the guarantee, all extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Millions, you pick 5 NFL teams against the spread each week, and you go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. There's even a Circa Grandissimo for $100 million Survivor contest right there. You must register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada, Las Vegas. What great excuse now to book a trip to Las Vegas and have a great time. I just booked my trip today for Mountain West Media Days. So I'll be out there. All right. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere. And with the help of SGPN's official proxy because you're going to need to play from anywhere. You're going to need that proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use the promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We are also brought to you by mybookie.ag. Yes, MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including right now, MLB action, CFL, WNBA, golf's rolling along, and of course, college football and NFL futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations as well, even outside of the States. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head on over to mybookie.ag. Use our promo code TCESGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. Of course, that's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back, and it's time to talk defense. The defense season ago. Now, Zach Alley was a very good defensive coordinator, highly regarded at Jacksonville State. He left Jacksonville State. He missed the final year of Rich Rod's run. He went to Oklahoma with Brent Venables. And then West Virginia was able to pay up to steal Zach Alley back to Rich Rod, essentially. But man, does he inherit quite a mess. 109th in scoring defense a year ago, 125th in pass defense. That was bottom 9. Then 56 in rush defense and 110th in total defense. Mac, how bad was it last year? And what do you think realistically he can do in 1 year?
It was a nightmare last year. I mean, the breakdowns late in the Pitt game, the breakdown late in the halves of Iowa State and Penn State. It was a debacle. It was atrocious to watch. I mean, Alley's defenses get after it. He's a Venables guy. He played for Venables at Clemson, and then I mean that speaks to how much he believes in Rich Rod that he left his college coach to come join Rich Rod's staff. I know he got paid. But still, I mean, it's not easy to leave your college coach. So, I would anticipate a different just attitude. Just the same on the offensive side, just the way that they're going to approach things. It's not, if they're going to go down, they're going to go down swinging at least now.
Well, they return one guy, Edward Vesterin at the defensive tackle spot. I guess you told me to return one guy. Maybe it would be a defensive tackle, but he started a year ago. Punter Oliver Straw is back as well. One of 11 back, but the defense was terrible statistically, so maybe that's a good thing. The portal. Oh boy, here we go again. Jamori Robinson was the All AAC Defensive Player of the Year from UTSA. That's a very good get. Devin Grant comes in from Incarnate Word. Braden Siders from Wyoming, who I liked their D line. I think that's a sneaky good get. The Siders get. Kimo Makaneole from LSU comes in at the defensive line. Sorry, Kimo, if I butchered your name. Eddie Kelly from the Missouri Tigers. Some SEC talent there. In the linebacking core, Ashton Woods from North Carolina. A lot of North Carolina guys from Mac Brown coming over. Chase Wilson, I know him. He was at Colorado State, started for them, played well. Ben Bogle from Southern Illinois and the Salukis. John Lewis from UNLV. They had a great season a year ago. Then the defensive backfield, Michael Coates from Nevada. He played really good a season ago. He's penciled in to start, I think. Jordan Scruggs from South Alabama. Jason Chambers from App State, who I think is also penciled in to start. Ty Crutcher from West Florida. That's D2, folks. Derek Carter Jr. from Jacksonville State. Okay, familiar with the scheme. Devontae Golden Nelson from Akron. Nick Taylor from App State. Fred Perry was a very good safety for Jacksonville State a year ago. He transfers in. Darian Lewis from Akron. Justin Harrington, a safety also from Washington that I think is penciled in to start as well. And holy shit, Mac. And I believe we even have, how about this? They went out and got William Davis from Virginia Union. All right. I mean, folks, the only buddy that's Charles Oakley's alma mater. That's about the only guy I know from Virginia Union. Deep sea diving, safety Jordan Walker coming in from Chattanooga, and then kicker Cade Hensley from Coastal Carolina. If they're in close games, that might matter. Buddy, this is Deion 2.0 in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, I tend to think the defense will be better than it was a year ago, strictly from the coach. But I don't know how much better it will be.
I think that they're going to take some strides here. I like obviously Robinson's a stud coming over from UTSA, and then coach at Nevada, and then the other thing is you could just see that they're not afraid to take shots on guys at the G5 level just because Rich Rod was at that level. And then they did a nice mix with some high major guys that are looking for a second chance. So the offense and defense brought in a lot of guys, 60, 70 guys, but hell, he just did this at Jack State and it worked out well. So we're going to see his eye for talent once more. And I think it'll be an aggressive unit. I think by default, they will take some steps forward. They better because they were atrocious last year.
Yeah, I think they will be better. I actually am more confident in the defense being way ahead of schedule than the offense.
Yeah.
It's because I know how this offense works historically. It's a great offense, but timing and rhythm do really matter. So we like to do a thing called State of the Program. And part of State of the Program is I think it goes hand in hand, not only with who your roster is, which we've been talking about for the past 20 minutes, but also your stadium, your fans. Who are you? Who is you? You know what I mean? And so I've been to the stadium and I did get pepper sprayed. Milan Pusker Stadium there, 45 years young. I gave it an 8 of 10, Mac, and I'll be honest. I was going to give it a 7 of 10 because I was mad that they got rid of this beauty back in the day. Mountaineer Field.
Downtown.
All right. Oh, man. I mean, this stadium, legendary stadium there, this is where, Bobby Bowden coached West Virginia. But I still like Milan Pusker Stadium. I just think, look at this beaut. I mean, come on, look at that thing. What is this now? It's probably like they got buildings here now.
Yeah, they got buildings down there, and then they got the PRT and all that shit. Yeah, man, I would have loved to gone to a game at Old Mountaineer Field downtown, but unfortunately, I was not alive during that time.
Yeah, look, if I did not know this information, I would have probably just been, it's a solid 8. Yeah. But then you know this and you're just like, fuck, man. But it is still a good stadium. And mainly because West Virginia's fucking batshit crazy. Their fans are awesome. The experience, like I said, I've been to this parking lot. I was shit hammered somewhere in there. And they got couches on fire. Like I said, actually we got pepper sprayed in the stadium. It wasn't outside of the stadium, but debauchery at its biggest, maybe the most that I've ever seen. I mean, really, the only ones I could really put on that pedestal is probably like ECU and LSU would be the 3 that stand out as like just fucking debauchery. Like you're just passing by people on the ground doing keg stands. You know what I mean? So,
grandma's doing keg stands.
Yes. I mean, it is perfect. It is everything that college football should be. I don't even know. I found this photo on the internet. There's some dudes getting shit hammered. All right. Double fisted some Natty Light. But also, how about this? They're known to burn couches. This guy built a grill that was a couch. How great is this? I need to be friends with this guy because that is fantastic. His tailgate scene is all WV. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Jump on over there. Check it out. And this is Milan Pusker Stadium, which I think is fucking fantastic too. It's just, knowing what the old one was, I wish they would have preserved it, but this is still a very nice stadium. Mac, have you been pepper sprayed there?
I got pepper, not at the stadium. I got pepper sprayed after we beat Texas the year with Geno Smith and Tavon Austin. Right on Grand Avenue. It was a good night.
That is a great night.
Yeah. We thought we were going to the national championship, though we lost 5 straight. But hey, horns down that night at least.
That happens. Been there before. Look, it's a beautiful
I
stadium,
was a
though, man.
freshman, man. It was a good
Yeah.
time. It was a
That's
good
what you're
time.
supposed to do. That's what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do, you know?
Oh, and Baylor. And we beat Baylor. We actually kept Baylor out of the national championship that year.
I
That was
remember that.
junior year. Yeah, that was a riot downtown that
Did
night.
you guys storm the field that game?
I think yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun. I mean it started. I was overserved. I was just talking shit to all these Baylor fans. So yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, it's a beautiful stadium, and your guys' fans are awesome. They are like exactly what like good the definition of good college football fans. They're just great fans. They'll show up. I mean, I've seen them in Landover, Maryland before showing up, neutral site games, but you know, full on away games. It's just I mean, it's a fire stadium. Anyone in the area considering going and haven't been, you got to go.
That was a big game.
Right there.
Yeah. I think that was the brawl 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm somewhere in there.
Yeah, there you go. I think I see you.
Yeah, it's like, who's that guy double fisting over there?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a beautiful, especially when the sun goes down, like in this photo. Excuse me. I'm still getting out of that Wuhan flu. No, it really is a beautiful stadium. What do you give this thing? I know you're biased. Look at that in the snow.
Yeah,
come on.
A game.
Love the fact it's not a dome. Love the fact, you know, they just do college football right. It is a great stadium. What do you give this thing? Are you biased and going to say 10 of 10 because everyone's listening?
Hell yeah, Marlon Pushkar, baby.
Yeah,
10 out of 10, dude. It's the perfect size too. It's 60,000. The suites are there in the end zone over there, and then the student body up there. And then I mean, just look at that picture.
Yeah,
right coming out of the
it
weight room. They enter out of the weight room. I want them to bring back the helmet, the deflated helmet that they used to run out of. I'd like to see that, but I'm sure Ren's working on it. He's bringing back all the good old shit. So we got the helmets back. We got Rich Rod back. We're heading in the right direction, baby.
I saw that they got the new helmets. It was announced yesterday.
Beautiful.
Pretty fire stuff there, man. Look at that skyline. It is beautiful. Get yourself on out to Milan Puskar Stadium this fall. They do college football right in Morgantown. So state of the program, Mac. I gave it 8 of 10, and really, if you would have asked me this last year, I would have probably gave it a 4 of 10. Because I just not that I dislike Neil Brown. I think he might be a solid coach again somewhere, but I just thought there was no juice behind the program, right? And whether it's Pat McAfee or what's that owner of the the guy in Arizona that owns the baseball team, drawing a blank on his name, but he's a Dub V alum, I believe. Whatever it was, whatever it was, I'm buying in because there's an excitement, there's a buzz around town, and you got a coach that I think is one of the elite coaches in college football. So I'm giving it an 8 of 10. I don't know if I should even ask you what you. I mean, biased, 10 of 10 of everything. You would have said 10 of 10 last year with Neil Brown.
No,
you said, Neil's got this.
I tried to trick myself into like I like Neil Brown, but it was time. And dude, this is my coach. I grew up a Mountaineer fan. It was the Pat White, Steve Sladen era to bring him back home, one of us. And it takes a guy like Rich Rod to win at West Virginia. So to get him back, and here's why I'm also saying a 10 out of 10. Who else has a press conference on the #1 show on ESPN televised the entire time?
Fair.
I mean that's powerful to get that on the McAfee show for the brand. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Let's go.
There we go. And Pinto Ja in the chat saying,
Coach P.
I mean, he said Dub V Milan Puskar Stadium started the stadium tradition that you see in so many stadiums now. That's some good intel right there. And it looks like he didn't just type that. It looks like he quoted that from the internet. Yeah, state of the program to me, things are going. They needed this jolt of energy, in my opinion. They really needed this jolt of energy. So I'm glad. I have fond memories of watching Dub V as a kid, back with Major Harris and Adrian Morrell and everything. So excited for the future here. We're gonna break down the schedule, but before we do that, I want to let the good folks know that the College Football Experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place There's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades, because best ball is the best way to play fantasy football. So what are you doing? Jump on over there, sign up, and when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits there. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Probably heard me talk about Rhythm before. They just dropped a game-changing new feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns when Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm and Rhythm only. There's no touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets, baby. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Also, get your free 7-day trial period. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back. Apparently, it's Mylan.
I was being nice to you and not correcting you. It's Mylan Pushkar.
Really? I'm way off on that? God damn it. I've been there, but you're getting shit hammered. You don't really pay attention to the name of the stadium.
It's a funky pronunciation.
Who is that, by the way?
I probably should know that. I don't know who Mylan Pushkar is. I never met him.
Okay. He's definitely someone with some BDE, right? To get a stadium named after you, right? That's
an
big
American
dick energy.
entrepreneur. Yeah, he was way back in the day.
Okay.
He died in Morgantown, 2011 from cancer.
Yeah. May he rest easy.
Donation. Yeah. So.
Okay. There we go. Well, you learn something new every day. Go to make sure you check out Mylan. What was the last name again?
Mylan Pushkar.
Pushkar. How do you get Pushkar out of that?
Dude, it's West Virginia.
Who the fuck would have got that? Anyway, and even worse because I've been there. That's the worst part about it. It's not like but that just shows how much debauchery Morgantown is. Anyway.
Hey, a side note, it's the only place too when everybody looks at the slideshow again at the end that turns their hospital into the tailgate lot. By the way, it's the only place in the country.
That is strong.
Take the hospital, take the day off. We got a tailgate here.
That is strong right there. Very strong. All right, let's jump into the schedule because week 1, a Pennsylvania, West Virginia battle like no other. This is like the appetizer before the backyard brawl, right? Where the hell? Moon Township, isn't that where?
Yeah, Moon Township.
Yeah.
PA.
Robert Morris. I think I got that name right. That is Robert, not Robert. Robert Morris is heading to Morgantown, West Virginia. First time they've ever played. This is good. Bernard Clark. I think he's still the coach of Robert Morris, former Miami Hurricanes linebacker in the 80s. He played for the Cincinnati Bengals too. Pretty good player, but look, this should be a blowout. What am I talking about? Want to know? Bold statement.
Yeah, I mean, you will think that they're playing Pitt with how much energy is in this place for Rich Rod's first game back.
Oh yeah. Do we have a number on this yet? No, because it's FCS, right?
Yeah.
That'll come out later. Yeah. And now we buckle in because Peden Stadium will be rocking Ohio. Ask your hated rivals Pitt about the time they went to Peden Stadium. The last time they went to Peden Stadium. Yeah, or Iowa State. They took L's. Dangerous. But I'm taking Rich Rod. This will be a grinded out game. Remember, Tim Albin, the head coach of Ohio, left for Charlotte. By the way, the series goes back to 1897. I'm on Dub V, though. I think they get it done. I think Ohio's got too many moving parts. I know Parker Navarro's back at the quarterback spot. I know they retain their DC and some of that talent they have, but I just think Dub V's talent at this point will be a little bit better. Breaking in a brand new head coach. I know he was on the staff a year ago, but I still think I have to give West Virginia a slight edge here. 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, I hate this game. This is trap game with who's on deck, but if Neil was coaching, I think Ohio would win. But I think Rich Rod will not let it be a letdown in just game number 2. They grind it out. It won't be easy. If Albans was coaching, I'm with you, man. I would be like, shit. But first-year head coach versus first-year head coach. I'll take Rich Rod.
Yeah, what is it? Brian Smith, I believe, is the new head coach of Ohio. Go listen to our Ohio preview. We're consistent on this. 2-0, and then you have the backyard brawl. Man, Pitt, West Virginia, Morgantown. Series goes back to 1895. And if I may not know the goddamn stadium name correctly, but I know this fucking rivalry because I've been watching this rivalry since I was like 6 years old, 7 years old, some shit like that. I love this rivalry. It's college football, and it's like, to me, there's some hidden great rivalries. Pitt, West Virginia, Mississippi State. And, there shouldn't even be hidden, but I'm just saying, if you talk to Joe Schmo, well, they would say, oh, Alabama, Auburn, and Michigan, Ohio State, which are great rivalries. But there's nastiness in these rivalries, and that's what I love about them. All right, well, look. I have to give you one loss. Maybe I'll give it Ohio.
Better not be this one.
Maybe I'll give it Ohio. I feel like Pitt is in a better spot, but man, this place is going to be lit. Like right now, I feel like Pitt, because you're in year 2 of their OC. All right, I'll 3-0.
You know the date of this game?
What is the date of the game? Because
September 13th, 9-13, his final game. They lost to Pitt to not go to the national championship, 13-9. He was talking about this at the press conference.
Oh man. I mean, eat shit, Pitt. There it is. YouTube.com/thecollegeexperience. Jump on over there.
Eat shit, Pitt. We're gonna kick their ass. We're not losing this fucking game. He's not losing this game.
I just feel like, see, before they used to play this on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And I almost wish it was on Black Friday this year, because when do I think Rich Rod's offense will sputter the most? I think it's going to be in September. I'm just going to say this.
It's the next week that will sputter.
I'm giving, if I'm between Ohio and Pitt, there's one loss. You pick where it is.
I hope it's Ohio.
Okay.
I'll give the G5 away. Iowa State lost to Ohio and almost went to the Big 12 title 2 years ago. It's not a conference loss. Just don't lose the backyard brawl. We should be 3-0 in the last 3 years, but we debacled those games. Neil did. So
yeah,
Rich Rod.
So I'd say 2-1 in the non-con. You're at 3-0.
Yeah.
Now this is just such a bad spot. This should be a bye week.
Yeah.
Because if they do beat, like, I just know the backyard brawl. Like, even if you lose, it's like it's just such an emotional game. And then you turn around, you go out to David Booth Memorial Stadium there in Lawrence, Kansas. Series goes back to 1941, and Lance Leipold lick at his chops. So I do have the Jayhawks getting you, buddy. I got them at 2-2. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not going to pick them to go 12-0, even though I want them to go 12-0. I think this is a horrible spot. Remember last year they got Kansas off the brawl, and they should have lost to Kansas at home. I mean, Kansas blew a double-digit lead with 5 minutes left. So yeah, this is a tough spot. Jalen Daniels, I'll have our first loss here.
3-1, 2-2 for me. Then, man,
the schedule's fucking hard early,
and that's what I'd prefer it the other way, where it's hard late. This series goes back to 1964. Utah heading into Morgantown, West Virginia, to take on these Mountaineers. I have Utah winning this.
Yeah, as much as like the home field and I know Rich Rod, we're going to get back to actually playing well at home, not getting blown out at home 4 times in 1 year. Utah is just more veterans and Whittingham, they're going to bounce back. So I think Utah's farther along this time of year. So I got them dropping 2 in a row here, actually.
3-2. I got them at 2-3. Shout out to the chat. Cannabis Capper saying Rich Rod ain't losing to Pitt. Wing Boy 6 saying tickets for the backyard brawl right now, $400. Woo!
Yeah.
College sports, baby. Gotta love it. Then you head to Provo, to the Super Soaker, to take on BYU, which this game just got a lot easier the other day. This got a lot easier. What Retzlaff, their quarterback, just announced he was transferring. I mean, he's like by far their best offensive player, obviously the quarterback position, but also just he was pretty efficient last year. I can buy into this one. Who the hell is BYU going to grab in the portal to be a starter?
Friday night game at late night in Provo.
ECU won there on a Friday night. I was in Vegas for that. I think the whole fucking sports book remembers that moment. Give me an upset. Give me a Dub V upset right here.
Yeah, I think Rich Rod loses his mind after they lose a home game. He gets them right on a short week. They go out to Provo, right to ship 4-2.
All right, then you get a bye week. Shout out to Major Harris there.
Yeah, man.
When I first started watching college football, that was my guy. He was a beast. He was a beast, man. Then they come out of that and they go down to Orlando, Florida. Now I'm fascinated by this game. Series goes back to 2003. There are two coaches that are both in their second stops at their previous, at schools they had great success with. Also, their styles are similar. Scott Frost does a lot of that run speed option stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fascinating game. But I'll take a win for West Virginia. Now, I don't feel amazing about this one. I think this is honestly like a 50-50 game. But I could see West Virginia getting that dub. I think their roster actually might be a little bit better than UCF's coming into the season. But the Moon Bounce crowd is legit. Give me 4-3. What are you doing here?
I'll tell you what. When we went down there 2 years ago, there was a shitload of West Virginia fans. There's a lot of West Virginia fans down there in Florida, and I mean, it's definitely a destination trip. End of October, where it's going to be warm. Yeah, I think they'll get it done. I think off the bye week, Rich Rod. Yeah, I think his offense starts coming into shape here, headed into November. So I have him at 5-2.
Ooh, I got him at 4-3.
Yeah.
Then TCU comes to town in a series that goes back to what? I mean, they played being conference foes in the Big 12. 64? Or 84? 1984. Yeah, I got you losing this one. I'm kind of high on TCU this year. You know what could give you a win here if you have extreme weather, though?
Yep, it's cold.
I'm gonna give it to TCU. I got you guys at I got you guys now at what 4-4. What are you doing here?
I got us taking care of TCU. I'm with you. Like where the game falls, this is when the weather starts to turn. Texas team coming up to Morgantown usually is a nice recipe. 6-2. They're getting hot down the stretch, baby.
There we go. Now next up,
it's a
trip to Houston. Now I'll say this: one of these two games, if you beat TCU, you lose to Houston. If you lose to TCU, I mean, I don't know. You could lose both these, dude. This is a tough game.
Houston's going to be good.
Give me a fifth win right here. Oh no. I think Fritz is flying under the radar. Give me a loss.
I'm gonna have him drop this one 6-3. I had him winning 3 in a row coming off the back-to-back losses, so I got him 6-3 with 3 to go.
All right, then the Colorado Coach Prime in Morgantown. Isn't the world perfect?
He's gonna hate it there.
It's perfect. It's fucking perfect, dude. I got Dub V getting this one. It's a far trip for Colorado. And then even though Colorado's style, they're kind of an unknown team this year, I think by this point, the offense for Rich Rod will be clicking. So I will take Dub V to get this dub. And that puts me at what, 5? I think I'm at 5 wins now.
Yeah, you need one more.
Yeah.
Culture shock for Coach Prime coming to Morgantown.
Love this game on the schedule, by the way.
I got us beating Colorado. I'm not high on Colorado this year. Shocker.
Yeah. You sound like
Kramer.
yeah, about to say.
73. Let's go.
Next up, a trip to Tempe, Arizona, Sun Devil Stadium, legendary Sun Devil Stadium. They talk shit, but their AD dipped out before this game happened. So I don't know how much that means, but he did shit on Morgantown. What's his name? Ray Anderson, I think it was.
Yeah.
I got to take Arizona State here, man. I think they're in a better spot. Year one. That's a trip to the desert.
Yeah. Late too. No
Yeah.
bye week. 7-4. I think we dropped this one. Arizona State. I think we'll be playing well at this time. So I got us dropping this one. 7-4, headed into the final bye week.
And I'm at what, 5-6. 5-6. I don't like this late bye week, by the way. Shout out to Coach Don Nealon, though. Fucking legend. Do you like the late bye week before the one game?
I would like the bye week before Arizona State.
Yes.
Travel week. Yeah, no,
yes.
I don't. Although, I mean, if the Texas Tech game does mean something.
I've already got this figured out, man.
Yeah.
So the final game of the season, Texas Tech comes in with their super expensive roster, highest payroll and transfer portal.
To spoil it.
This is just so perfect, Mac. What is the date on this? It's like November 30th or something, right? November 29th, I think it is. You're going to try, because they still run the air raid. You're going to try passing that ball around in some windy ass, cold ass conditions. And that shit ain't going to fly. Rich Rod goes bowling. 6th win, and I might keep Texas Tech out of the Big 12 championship, which would be fucking hilarious. I like this one. 6-6. What are you doing here?
Shout out to Texas. I love Lubbock. I love Texas Tech fans. You guys did us a good one last year. You beat us so bad in the finale that we fired Neil and brought Rich home. Now we're going to spoil your super team roster and keep you out of the Big 12 title. 8-4, baby. Rich Rod gets us back to where we belong. 8-4.
There we go. Shout out to Wingboy too. He's talking about his days to get field passes. Let's go. Let's go. The win total is at 5.5. So I am on the over. I am trusting Rich Rodriguez. Now, they're plus 4,200 to win the Big 12. They're plus 3,000 to make the college football playoff, and they're plus 100,000 to win it all. Mac, I can't emphasize enough. I know you have them at 8 wins. Can't emphasize enough how big that Ohio game could be.
Yeah. They're all big. I mean, they don't have a sure win other than Robert Morris on the schedule.
You're right. I mean, you're right. But I trust Rich Rod. 6-6. You go bowling and then watch out next year. I'll tell you that right now. Get to a bowl game. We're both on the over. You like any of these other bets? I mean, shit, you got them 8-4. You might as well sprinkle that plus 4,200 there to win the Big 12.
And here's the other reason I'll sprinkle the Big 12, because it's the Big 12. Arizona State was preseason 16 last year. West Virginia, I've seen it's that they're the worst team in the league, worst roster. Okay, I'll trust Rich Rod. Yeah, I'll sprinkle Big 12 just with some chaos because, I mean, it could be like a 5-6 way tiebreaker. And I don't think people realize in the Big 12, these rosters are not as far apart as everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Every game's a 1-score game.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. I did have on paper, you guys, all your road games minus UCF, I had as bowl teams, but I had UCF as 5-7, potentially 6-6. So potentially a bowl team. That is fucking tough. You would like one layup. You know what I mean? If you're going to go on the road, just be like, okay, give us one. I do think Houston's going to be a bowl team. I think Arizona State will be a bowl team. Now, BYU, maybe now with Retzlaff's injury, his sexual injury that he encountered, maybe that's the one that doesn't go bowling.
Yeah.
That could be the one.
Well, and Colby also, I think, too, with the Big 12, if you remember who the two teams that were predicted to win it last year were Oklahoma State and Utah. They didn't even go to a goddamn bowl. TCU the year before goes to the national championship. They don't go to a bowl. Oklahoma State, this is such a zigzag league where like it wouldn't shock me at all if BYU missed a bowl, even though they went 11-2 last year.
Yeah, well, especially now that like this guy was a big part of their success. Fascinating. We will have you covered, folks, for it all. All right. Every single game we talk about, every single team we talk about, because we are the fucking college football experience. Subscribe, tell a friend, give Moneyline Mac a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And don't forget youtube.com/The College Experience. Highly recommend watching the show. Mac, we got to get up there for a game, man.
Yeah.
We got to get up there. We got to figure this out. Get up there for a game. You might see us in Morgantown doing, if you see someone out in the parking lot chugging a beer, doing a whippet, you know what I mean? That'll be me. So, whoa, my fucking throat right there is my Wuhan virus kicks in.
Get your pepperoni roll.
Yeah, let's go. All right. Enjoy the slideshow too. I love West Virginia's history in football. Put together a lot of this stuff right now. So, and by the way, next up, we're talking Louisiana Tech Bulldogs football in about 10 minutes on this very network. Also, check out the College Basketball Experience and the College Baseball Experience and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. All right. Till next time, folks. This is the College Football Experience, West Virginia Mountaineer style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Mailbox 1. You have 7 messages. 1.
I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. We're the obsession to be a part of that, started that. Mind over matter don't matter in the market. I've seen much smarter cats have heart attacks. Largely cause leaders need lambs to be lethargic. Match wits with the half-wit phantom. I don't need jumper cables or mic cords to analyze an analytical anthem. Between my two ears, an engine pumping the life force. Force field for your grip on the grievance. Still gonna feel unchallenged and bored stiff. So arrange the pieces to prepare cohesive. All the hard work will go largely ignored if your hands are covered with post-its and paper cuts. You need to have your voice in the vice grip. The one who made it famous ain't the one who made it up. You don't get overtime just for working the night shift.
I'm taking a pitch right now. It's like
I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart mind, body, and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun mind, body, and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo mind, body, and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Every time I close my eyes, I'm taken to the same place, a playing field, and every contestant's got the game face. Everybody's yelling, you ought to play it safe. Make sure them shoes are tied and ankles taped. Shake the cobweb, hit the ground running. This is how cunning I can get with the footwork. You're doing it right, well, it shouldn't hurt. Flirt with greatness, still I run the famous. Nice high heels, I got mics for spikes. Trampling the home team and the turf for life. For the few fleet of foot, too fast for me. I fear none, cause I run and ignore the pair of feet by the tree that are fast asleep. In love with the game, you adore the hair. I believe in achievement. My soul isn't rewarded just cause the season goal moves toward it. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Conspiracy theories, gotta love them clearly. Nothing's more entertaining than entertaining a query. Just a word to the wise and the weary. Recognize the authors of reality and theory. Theoretically, I could have won Scribble Jam.